Stop for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not let this pass like every other message you have seen today, because something deeper than chance is happening right now. If your heart has been heavy, if your mind has been racing, if you have been smiling in front of people while quietly fighting fear inside, then this word is speaking straight to you, not to the person beside you, not to someone who looks more prepared, more holy, or more successful, to you right here, right now. There is a shift already moving in your direction, and it is not small. It is not weak. It is not late. It is strong, precise, and filled with purpose. The pressure you have been under has not been ignored. The tears you hid have not been wasted. The nights you stared at the numbers, trying to make sense of what was not enough, were seen. And before this message is over, I believe your fear is going to lose its grip and your faith is going to rise again. So stay with me. Listen to every word. Because what comes next may be the very reminder your spirit has been needing, and I do not want you to miss a single second of it. You have been carrying a financial weight that has tried to crush your peace, drain your energy, and whisper defeat into your thoughts when the room gets quiet. You checked the account, you counted the bills, you looked at what was due, looked at what was left, and felt that cold wave hit your chest. You prayed, you waited, you hoped, and somewhere in the middle of all of it, a tired little question may have risen in your heart. Did God forget me? But hear this clearly. He did not forget you, not for 1 second. He has been watching the whole time. He has seen every hidden battle, every private prayer, every moment you held yourself together when you felt like falling apart. And what is being released into your life is not some tiny relief that fades by next week. It is not a weak answer to a deep need. It is a powerful turnaround, the kind that changes atmosphere, breaks fear, and leaves no doubt that heaven has stepped into the middle of your story. So if you have felt like giving up, do not do it now. This part matters. Keep listening, because the next few moments are for the person who has almost run out of strength but has not run out of destiny. There are moments in life when everything shifts faster than your natural eyes can understand. Moments when heaven says enough is enough, and what has been delayed can no longer stay delayed. This is one of those moments, not weeks from now, not someday, when life finally feels calm, not after you become more perfect, more polished, or more ready. Now. This moment carries weight. This moment carries movement. This moment carries the power of interruption. And when God interrupts a financial struggle, He does not ask your bank account for permission. He does not check whether your credit looks strong enough. He does not study your past mistakes and decide if you earned help. He moves because He is still God. He moves because mercy does not wait for perfect timing. He moves because His power is not limited by what looks impossible on paper. If your life has felt locked, if every door has seemed closed, if every step forward has been followed by another setback, I need you to hear this with fresh strength. That closed story is not final. That heavy chapter is not the end. What looked sealed is being opened. What looked frozen is beginning to move. And if this is reaching you at the exact moment you needed it, that is not random. Stay here, because this next part may explain more than you realize. There was likely a moment you almost forgot, a quiet act, a hidden decision, something simple that did not feel important at the time. Maybe you gave when you barely had enough for yourself. Maybe you helped someone while secretly carrying your own pain. Maybe you chose honesty when compromise would have been easier. Maybe you kept praying on a day when prayer felt hard and hope felt expensive. Maybe you forgave when your emotions wanted revenge. Maybe you simply stayed faithful in a season where nothing around you seemed to be changing. Whatever it was, heaven saw it, and that matters more than you know. Because in the kingdom of God, small acts done with real faith are never small. They are seeds, and seeds do not shout when they enter the ground. They disappear, they look hidden, they look buried, they look as if nothing is happening. But under the surface, life begins. Pressure breaks the shell, roots form, movement starts where eyes cannot see. That is why you must not judge your life only by what is visible right now. Just because you cannot see the harvest yet does not mean nothing is growing. Something has already been set in motion because of your obedience. Do not skip over that truth. It may be one of the keys that helps you understand why this season is closer to changing than it appears. Most people think breakthrough only comes after dramatic public faith, but that is not how it often works. God is moved by hidden trust, by the quiet yes, by the private surrender, by the kind of obedience nobody claps for. The world celebrates what it can see, measure, and post. Heaven notices what was done in secret with a sincere heart. That moment when you kept trusting instead of quitting. That morning when you got up and kept going, even though your mind was tired. That evening when you refused to take the wrong path, even though it looked like the easy answer. Those things were not lost in the air. They were recorded, they were received, they were honored. While you were looking at the surface and seeing no movement, something was happening underneath the weight of your situation. The root of your breakthrough was forming, the answer was pressing upward. The future shift had already begun, and what looked like silence was not empty silence. It was active preparation. It was heaven building what your natural eyes could not yet confirm. So if you have been telling yourself, nothing is changing, I want you to challenge that thought right now, because sometimes the strongest movement begins in the unseen. And sometimes the most powerful answer is already on the way long before it becomes visible in your hands. There is also a lie that tries to grow in hard seasons. It is quiet. It is subtle. It sounds believable when you are exhausted. It says, nobody sees this. Nobody knows what this has cost you. Nobody understands what you have carried. Maybe it does not matter. But that lie must be broken, because even if people did not notice, God did. Even if no human being saw the sacrifice, heaven did. The tears you wiped away in private were seen. The worries you could not fully explain were understood. The nights you stayed awake, trying to hold your faith together while your thoughts were running wild, were not invisible. God sees the hidden place. He sees the struggle behind the smile. He sees the effort it took for you to stay soft when life was making you hard. He sees the discipline it took to stay honest when pressure was pushing you toward panic. And he does not just see it casually, he sees it with care, with precision, with love. That means your story is not being ignored. Your seed is not being forgotten. Your faithfulness is not disappearing without reward. Stay with me, because this is where many people almost miss their moment. They assume nothing is happening because nothing has changed yet in the natural. But the natural is not the only place movement begins. And what is happening beyond your sight may be far more real than what is happening in front of your eyes. God's way is different from the world's way. The world says you only matter when people notice. The world rewards image, noise, and appearance. But God rewards truth in the hidden place. He rewards integrity when nobody is around. He rewards the kind of faith that costs something. He rewards the person who keeps walking clean when the easier road would have been compromise. And when he rewards, it is not always tiny. It is not always quiet. Sometimes it comes openly, clearly, powerfully, the kind of answer that makes people stop and wonder how the door opened so fast, the kind of shift that turns private tears into public testimony. This is why you cannot measure your future by your current pressure. This is why you cannot let today's numbers tell you the whole story. There is a reward connected to hidden faithfulness. There is a response connected to private obedience. There is fruit connected to seeds that were planted in pain. And I believe what has been done in secret is preparing to show up in a way that can be seen, touched, and recognized. The people who only saw your struggle may soon see your change. The ones who only saw the burden may soon see the breakthrough. And not because you performed perfectly, but because you kept believing while carrying questions, fatigue, and real life pressure. Here is the shift you need to hear. Your miracle is not waiting to begin. It has already begun. It is already moving. It is already traveling with purpose. So many people are begging heaven to start something that heaven has already set in motion. They are asking for movement while movement is already happening behind the scenes. They are asking for an answer while the answer is already making its way through doors, people, timing, and circumstances they cannot yet see. By the time a breakthrough becomes visible, a great deal has already been happening in the unseen. Hearts are being prepared, assignments are being moved, help is being arranged, timing is being aligned, resources are being redirected. That means your situation may be far more active than it feels. Do not let the slowness of the visible world fool you into thinking heaven is inactive. It is not. If anything, what you are feeling right now may be evidence that something is close. Why else would discouragement press so hard? Why else would fear try to talk so loudly? Sometimes the greatest resistance comes right before the clearest release. So do not pull back. Do not shut down. Do not let hopelessness make decisions for you. Keep your spirit open. Keep your faith alive. And keep listening, because the next truth may help you understand why this battle has felt so intense. The enemy does not waste energy attacking a situation that is dead and unmoving. Discouragement often rises when something important is close. Fear gets loud when change is near. Confusion pushes hard when clarity is about to break through. So if this season has felt unusually heavy, that may not mean you are forgotten. It may mean the pressure is reacting to a shift already in motion. The enemy wants you tired. He wants you offended. He wants you numb. He wants you to give up one step before the door opens. Because if he can get you to surrender in the final stretch, he can convince you that the promise never existed. But do not hand him that victory, not now. Not when you have come this far. Not when help may be closer than your fear is willing to admit. The breakthrough already knows your address. The answer already carries your name. What God started, he is still able to finish. And what he has prepared does not lose power because of delay. If anything, delay often makes the testimony deeper. So breathe again, steady your heart, refuse to crown panic as truth. This is not the time to collapse. This is the time to stand, even if your standing is quiet, even if your hands shake. Even if your prayer is only one sentence long, keep standing. There are no accidents in God's timing. You are not at this exact moment by random luck, random scrolling, or random technology. This may feel ordinary on the surface, but spiritually, it can carry the weight of an appointment. Every turn in your story, even the confusing ones, has been part of a larger picture. The road that felt wasted, the delay that felt cruel, the closed doors that made no sense, the seasons where you thought you were moving backward. None of it has been meaningless. You were not overlooked in the making of this story. You were chosen to live through this chapter and chosen to come out of it with something greater than what you had before. Being chosen does not mean life becomes easy. It often means your path carries weight. It means your growth has purpose. It means the pressure had an assignment, and that assignment was not to destroy you, but to shape something in you that only endurance could form. You are still here. After all the strain, all the disappointment, all the nights you did not know how it would work, you are still here. That matters. That says something. That means the fire did not consume you, it refined you. And the same God who kept you through the pressure is fully able to bring you into provision, peace, and visible turnaround. Let me say something plainly. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. Your need is not too large. Your mistakes are not stronger than God's mercy. Your lack is not stronger than His supply. The numbers may look real, and they are real. The pressure may feel real, and it is real. But none of it is more real than the power of God to step into a human situation and change what seemed fixed. This is why you must guard your heart in this season. Speak life, even if your voice feels weak. Reject the language of defeat, even if fear keeps knocking. Stop agreeing with the worst case story. Stop rehearsing failure as if it is already decided. There is still another report. There is still another possibility. There is still a hand greater than your own working on your behalf. And sometimes the first part of the miracle is not the money itself, but the breaking of the fear that has been ruling your mind. Because once fear loses its throne, faith can breathe again, wisdom can return, peace can settle, clarity can rise. And when clarity rises, you begin to notice doors, favor, timing, and opportunities that panic would have made you miss. So do not underestimate the power of this moment. Something in you is already being rebuilt. Maybe what is coming will not arrive in only one form. Maybe it will come as provision. Maybe it will come as strategy. Maybe it will come as an open door, a restored connection, a new stream, a canceled burden, a surprise opportunity, a wise decision, or a sudden favor that changes the whole direction of the season. Sometimes God sends a miracle that looks like immediate rescue. Sometimes He sends a miracle that looks like strength, wisdom, and perfect timing all working together. Either way, it is still Him. Do not make the mistake of only expecting one shape. Stay open. The answer may arrive through a conversation, a chance meeting, a corrected habit, a long awaited yes, or a door that opens where you stopped looking. This is why you need your spirit awake and your heart steady. Watch closely, listen carefully, be ready. Because what you asked for may come wrapped differently than you imagined, but it can still carry the full signature of heaven. And when it comes, do not shrink back in disbelief. Receive it, walk through it, steward it, thank God for it, and keep your heart humble because the blessing that is coming is not only for relief, it is also for purpose. It is meant to strengthen your life, deepen your testimony, and position you to become a blessing to others who are still standing where you once stood. I also believe this season is teaching you things success alone could never teach. It is teaching you dependence without shame, patience without numbness, faith without performance, gratitude before the evidence appears. And that matters because what is coming needs a heart that knows how to carry it. A sudden increase without inner preparation can become a burden, but a prepared heart can turn blessing into stewardship, relief into generosity, and testimony into impact. So even this hard chapter has not been empty. It has been building capacity in you. It has been stretching your trust. It has been exposing what fear sounds like and what faith sounds like, so that when the answer arrives, you will not only enjoy it, you will know how to honor it. That means this painful season has not just been about survival, it has been about preparation. You have been learning how to stand under pressure, how to remain honest in uncertainty, how to keep your spirit soft when circumstances tried to make you bitter. Those lessons are not small, they are part of the reward. And one day you will look back and realize that even while you were asking, why is this taking so long? God was building in you the exact strength needed for the next chapter to last. So now, instead of waiting like nothing is happening, begin to wait with expectation. Lift your head, watch with hope, pray with new language. Thank God not only for what He will do, but for what He has already started doing in places you cannot yet see. Let your heart come back into agreement with heaven. Let your mind stop partnering with dread. If fear speaks, answer it with truth. If panic rises, answer it with peace. If doubt returns, answer it with remembrance. Remember how far you have already come. Remember the times you should have broken but did not. Remember the ways help came before. Remember that God has never needed ideal conditions to move. He has always known how to enter impossible situations and rewrite what looked final. This is your reminder. This is your wake up call. This is your warning not to quit in the middle of a story that is still being written. And if you have felt this message pulling on something deep inside you, do not brush that aside. Hold on to it, revisit it, let it strengthen you, because the same God who saw you in secret is able to answer you openly. And the same God who carried you through the hidden process is able to bring you into visible breakthrough. So receive this in faith. The burden will not define the rest of your life. The fear will not have the final word. The lack will not write your future. A shift is coming, and for many of you, it has already started. What has been delayed is being moved. What has been blocked is being cleared. What has been dry is being touched by fresh life. Stay alert, stay faithful, stay open. The answer may come faster than you think, and when it does, let it find you ready, grateful, and unashamed to say that God was with you the whole time. You were not abandoned. You were being carried. You were not buried. You were planted. You were not rejected. You were being prepared. And what is ahead can be greater than what is behind. So take a breath. Let peace come back into your chest. Let hope rise again in your spirit. Refuse to walk away from the edge of your breakthrough. This is not the end of your story. This is the place where your faith gets stronger, your eyes open wider, and your heart begins to see that heaven has been moving all along. If you stayed to this point, hold on just a little longer. Your next chapter may be closer than it has ever been before.